Have you ever wondered how to reduce your inflammation? Hello, my successful and healthy earthlings. Mihaela Ragushia, naturopath and founder of the Natural Health Podcast. In today's episode, I'm going to share with you a way to reduce your inflammation with one simple and easy food. We're going to go through the top food to lower your inflammation. I'm going to go into detail of how this food works. And then at the end, I'm going to give you 3 tips to lower your inflammation. At the end of our podcast, I'm going to give you an opportunity to join a health and success oriented community by clicking below and joining the Natural Health newsletter. Welcome to the Natural Podcast, where we bring awareness to sustainable health in the business hustle space. Natural Podcast is perfect for the high-performing, business-minded individuals who want to work with their biochemistry to achieve success and optimal health. It's Mondays with Mihaela. That's right, me. Thank you so much for tuning in. Absolutely love, and appreciate your support. While I have you, click the subscribe button, click the bell notification button so you are advised whenever this amazing content comes out, one of the first individuals to know and hear about it so you can implement it. On Mondays, I'm here to provide you with simple, savvy, and sustainable health hacks to optimize your health. So today we are going to talk about inflammation, right? So much talk about inflammation's going on. You talk about any disease like Alzheimer's, diabetes, heart disease, even the viruses going around. The key or the bottom line of it all is increases our inflammation, and therefore our symptoms or the disease get worse because inflammation is not being controlled. So we all have this idea that inflammation is bad, which it is true to an extent. Stop there. Let me rewind. Inflammation is healthy and beneficial. Because inflammation occurs, it advises our white blood cells to come and fix the issue. However, if we have chronic inflammation that's constantly being used up, that is an issue because our body is not designed to fight chronic inflammation. Our body is designed to fight acute inflammation, which is healthy, and repair and recovery occurs thanks to inflammation. However, when it's chronic, there's a huge issue because this repair system and recovery system is bombarded and therefore it cannot occur. So let's talk about a simple food, the top food to lower your inflammation. I'm going to tell you what it is straight out because I want you to get your hands on some ASAP if you want, of course, if you want to reduce your inflammation, if you have inflammation, or if you just want to eat healthy. What I'm talking about is broccoli sprouts. That's right. Sprouts are actually seeds that are germinated. So I don't know if you're a gardener or anyone that's listening is a gardener. So what you do is get some amazing soil, you get your seeds, and then when they start to grow, that is a sprout. I think broccoli sprouts are 3 to 5 day old broccoli plants. So the benefit is it grows pretty quick. You put it in and then you have some for like, so let's say you start on Monday, on Wednesday you have lots of broccoli sprouts, Wednesday, Thursday for the weekend, and you go again, right? That's the benefit of it. So they are a nutritional powerhouse because it's that seed. It's those initial few days where it just boom, it's growing, right? If you think of broccoli, the definition of a healthy food, wait until I talk to you about broccoli sprouts. This is a powerhouse of nutritional value and beneficial, and especially what I'm going to be talking about today for our or your inflammation. So like most sprouts, they are small green leaves with white stems and a few inches long and still attached to the seed. So if you've ever, I don't know if you've ever had sprouts before, they're pretty cute. They're little and, like I explained, got the green leaves and the white stem. Still attached to the seed, right, which is quite interesting. They kind of taste a bit earthy, similar to radish, if you've ever had radish before. Some say they have actually no flavour. So I guess you got to try it to see if it tastes like anything. Most of the individuals use broccoli sprouts on top of salads. And we'll go into detail why they shouldn't be cooked. They should be eaten raw. But, nowadays we're all looking for that powerhouse, that boom, of these amazing minerals and vitamins. Well, broccoli sprouts are a good option for this powerhouse. They contain glucosinolates, nitrogen sulfur compounds, and phenolic derivatives such as flavonoids, glycosides, and hydroxynamic acid, vitamins A, C, E, K, and other minerals. That is all in a sprout. Extraordinary. And the key is I don't know if you've heard about if you're eating broccoli or these broccoli sprouts, sulforaphane is a compound with powerful anti-cancer properties. In fact, this is why broccoli sprouts have been long studied for their anti-cancer effects. And if we know the root cause of cancer, inflammation is definitely there. So studies have also shown that sulforaphane may promote cancer cell apoptosis or programmed cell death, which is what you want in cancer cells. They can inhibit the growth of new blood vessels that might malignate cells, reduce inflammation, lower susceptibility to cancer-causing substances, reduce the invasion and spread of cancerous cells. So they act by increasing the detoxification enzyme in the liver. These enzymes both counterpart and help the liver eliminate potential cancer-causing effects of toxins or chemicals from food and environment. Research also suggests that the plant chemicals may play a role in epigenetic modulation, meaning that it may be helpful to turn on and off certain specific genes involved in cancer inhibition or expression. That's a really interesting fact right there. So let's go into detail about how broccoli sprouts work. I found a study on broccoli sprouts which is mind-blowing. So I'm going to go and talk about that study for a little bit now. Let's see what they did and what they found, right? So the hypothesis of the study was that their research is that broccoli sprouts are able to reduce the inflammatory state in overweight subjects due to their content in phytochemicals, mainly glucosinates in the broccoli sprouts. So the aim of the study was to evaluate the changes of markers of inflammation in overweight subjects after only 10 weeks of ingesting broccoli sprouts, as well as to assess the bioavailability of glucosinates to correct the changes observed. So it's interesting. So they performed an interventional follow-up study to evaluate the effects of the daily consumption of broccoli sprout during the 10 weeks, which was 70 days, right? On the first day, they participate and then given more portions of fresh broccoli sprouts to be taken for the whole week. So 7 trays of broccoli sprouts, 30 grams each. So 30 grams of sprouts every day. And each week they had an appointment to provide them with the fresh produce. I mean, how amazing would that be if I went somewhere and I got given 7 days worth of 30 grams of broccoli sprouts every day? Yeah, there you go. That's a business idea. The amount is consistent with half a serving. Subjects were instructed to ingest 1 tray per day to keep the trays refrigerated, and the intake of broccoli sprouts was included in a normal daily diet if no specific time of consumption was established, with the only limitation is to avoid cooking. So it's kind of like, here, have this, just don't cook it. The markers that they looked at for inflammation, and if you know blood tests or if you know anatomy or anything along those lines, they looked at IL-6 C-reactive protein, IL-1 beta, and TNF alpha in plasma were determined in their lab. So they conducted a human intervention study to test whether regular consumption of broccoli sprouts, in this case 30 grams every day for 70 days, improved inflammatory markers in overweight subjects. But the reason why they chose overweight individuals is because adipose tissue holds and has pro-inflammatory cytokines such as TNF alpha and IL-6 at elevated levels in individuals who are overweight. That's why they used individuals who are overweight to test inflammation. For this to work, you don't have to be overweight. You can have other inflammatory issues going on. This is just what they used in the study. So essentially, this is the conclusion. So in their study, they observed a noticeable anti-inflammatory effect with the ingestion of broccoli sprouts, with a significant reduction by 38% and 59% in IL-6 and C-reactive protein concentration respectively. That is a huge drop. A 38% drop in IL-6 and a 59% drop in C-reactive protein. That is huge. So imagine if you have rheumatoid arthritis, imagine if you have osteoporosis, imagine if you have diabetes, imagine if you have dementia, any irritable bowel syndrome, any inflammatory disease. So anything that you can think of, Imagine reducing that inflammation from 38 to about 60%. That is a huge marker and a huge improvement. I can just imagine the symptoms, the relief that individuals would get if they continued doing this. It makes me want to go plant some broccoli sprouts right now. And I will be planting some broccoli in the garden, so I might have some for broccoli sprouts and then some for the broccoli. Quite interesting. I love that. I love that. If you do have some space at home that you're able to, we still can here in Australia plant our own food. Like, what a blessing. How beautiful is that we're able to plant our own food and we know what's going in it to an extent, what seed we're using, what soil we're using, what water we're using, what fertilizer we're using, the sun, the air, where it's located. So tomorrow I'm going to drop an episode and talk about exactly how to grow these seeds and where to get the products from. But let's look at 3 tips to lower your inflammation. Number 1 is grow your own broccoli sprouts. Why not do it right now? Tomorrow I'm going to drop in an episode, a simple 5-minute episode to explain to you how, where, who, right? Second one is buy broccoli sprouts already done, right? Organic, non-GMO, all those things. Number 3 is you can find broccoli sprout supplements, and what I'm specifically talking about is the sulforaphane, I think it's called. So that's what you're looking in particular, because that's the one active ingredient that's been beneficial in all of those things, the sulforaphane. But you don't get the other stuff that's found in the broccoli sprouts. So you got to talk to your health professional, figure out what's right for you. If it is growing your own broccoli sprouts, if it's buying your own broccoli sprouts, or if it is even taking sulforaphane supplements to assist. But you can see these results are just absolutely amazing. 38% and 59% of IL-6 and C-reactive protein drop is just absolutely amazing. I love it, and I'm a big fan of it. Jump on it if you get the opportunity to. So there you have it. If you think anyone would benefit from this podcast episode, share it with them. Send them this link right now. There's a share button there. Click on it. Share it around. Get an accountability broccoli sprout partner and get your broccoli sprouts going. If you do what you do best, love, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell button, do what you do best, comment also if you want to, and remember, the missing link between failure and success is your health. And don't forget to join the Natural Health Podcast newsletter. Content and information provided here is opinion of Mahela Raguse and is for information purposes only and does not constitute medical advice. It is not intended to provide medical advice or take the place of medical advice or any current treatment you're undertaking. Consult your own medical professionals for any medical issues that you may be having. This entire disclaimer also applies to any guests or contributors to the Natural Health Podcast. It is advised that you consult your doctor or healthcare professional in relation to any health concerns you may be having. Mahela Raguse does not take responsibility for any health consequences which occur from a person listening, viewing, or reading this content. And in the circumstances shall the Natural Podcast, Mahela Raguse, any guests or contributors to the Natural Podcast, or any employees, associates, or affiliates of Mahela Raguse be responsible for damages arising from the information provided on the Natural Podcast. By listening to this podcast, you agree not to use this podcast as medical advice to treat any medical conditions in either yourself or others. Please note, if you're taking prescription, do not stop your medication or start a new protocol, including but not limited to supplements, diet, lifestyle changes without consulting your doctor or healthcare professional. If you or any person has a medical concern, you should consult with your healthcare provider or seek other professional medical advice. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something that you have read or heard on the Natural Podcast or in any linked materials. If you think you may have a medical emergency, call your doctor or emergency services immediately. Neither Mahela Raguse nor the publisher of this content takes responsibility for the possible health consequences of any person or persons reading or listening or following the information in the educational content.